Welcome back to another automation breakdown where we break down automated solutions for your business needs. I'm your host, Chris. One thing that I think is truly a waste of time is following up with other stakeholders, with other parties, with other trying to get someone's approval, whatever that is. I just hate doing follow up. Strictly speaking, in my opinion, the system should be able to follow up with the intended users without any manual intervention from myself or with anyone else taking an Excel list and going, oh, now I need to follow up with you. Now I need to follow up with you. It's just a waste of time. Which brings us into today's video, taking a SharePoint list and being able to follow up with the intended stakeholder. Now, if you go all the way to the right of this SharePoint list, I have our status column. I'll just expand this so you see all the different details. And this choice column has either new, this is a brand new requisition, approver one has approved, and then approver one has denied, as well as approver one, we are still waiting for his or her response. Waiting for response is this particular status. And then we have approver two approved, approver two denied, and then approver two, same thing, waiting for response. And then finally, complete. Everything's done, dusted, out of the way, which means the system needs to follow up with anyone that is inside of approver one waiting for a response or approver two waiting for a response. How I'm establishing this follow-up notification is really utilizing Power Automate. So I'm going to go over to Create, and let's create this automated flow. Now for me, this is going to be a scheduled cloud flow, and let's go ahead and give our automation a name.
I shall call him Squishy, and he shall be mine, and he shall be my Squishy. Come here, Squishy.
We're going to have this automation start today, and I'm going to say every day at 10 a.m., and it's going to repeat once a day. Now smash the create button like you are going to smash the like button. We've now established the trigger. Every single day, 10 a.m., this flow will run. So what are those subsequent actions that this flow will be based out of? And so let's create another action, and we are going to get our items from that SharePoint list. Underneath SharePoint, you'll see get items. Let's now establish our site address and then our list name, which this one for me is our FTE requisition list. The real magic of the follow-up system comes inside of our advanced parameters, our filter query. Now let's take a look at the SharePoint list, and I purposely have the URL displaying. So our status, if we sort by our status, you will see the sort field equals status. This is Microsoft List's true name for this column. So status is the exact column that we need. For instance, if you click on approver one, you'll see approver one with no spaces in it. What we're going to need is the column name, again, status, and then we need approver one waiting for response, and then approver two waiting for response. The filter query will look something like this. Status is equal to, the EQ is equal to, and inside your single quote and single quote, between this, we need the direct context of what the status needs to equal. If I go over to status, column settings, and edit, I'm actually just going to copy approver one waiting for response, just copy that whole response there, and between our single quotes, paste that. And then I'm also going to say, or our status can equal, well, something else. And that is approver two waiting for response. Let's copy this and paste that between the single quotes. I just had my flow run a test, and I'll click on get items, and let's show raw outputs. And let's see all of the items that Power Automate had established. And again, if we look at the status column right here, you'll see it pulled in approver one waiting for response. Our next item inside of status right here, approver two waiting for response. Only the items with approver one or approver two waiting for response were pulled into our get items property. With just those statuses pulled into this automation, our next action will be apply to each. And the select an output from previous step, let's click on the lightning bolt or dynamic content. And underneath get items, you'll see body/value. These are all of the items from the get items property. The next action I'm going to do is use a compose, and this will be our URL to our Power Apps. I'm not going to really explain the URL. Please check out this video on how I created this. But at the end of the day, what we're doing is giving our user a button to click on so that it takes them right to the app and pulls in the right information into the app. This is the URL of my Power App, and I'm adding in the record ID is equal to, and I'll look at our get items property and snag in our ID. Great. This is the URL that our user will click on, that unique URL to get them to their line item to approve or deny, whatever they want to do. And because we're working with varying statuses, our next action will be switch. The switch is going to rely on that status. So let's go over to the lightning bolt, the dynamic content. Let's search for our status. And we don't necessarily want the status, we want the value of the status. Status value. When we are working with choice columns, each of these choices has a specific value. So we don't want the choice itself, we want the value of the choice. Let's create the two different cases for this switch. And in case number one, we are going to establish that this is approver one waiting for response. And I'm just going to copy this, paste that as the name of this case. And let's add case number two. This is our approver two waiting for response. And again, I'm just going to add that as the title of this case. Now we can go ahead and send out that email. So I'm going to add in my next action is send an email. And underneath Office 365 Outlook, send an email, V2. Please, if you have the user's email address, use their email by going over to and going over settings and using dynamic content. For me, I'm all alone. I got no one else to really use, so I'm just using my email.
'Cause I'm all alone. There's no one here beside me.
And this is a follow-up email, follow-up on the request for new headcounts. Now, this is very typical for me. I will put in automated message in the top banner here, just so, well, no one replies back to me, especially when the system is sending it out on my behalf. I don't really care about follow-up emails because it wasn't me sending it in the first place. So I'll just say automated message. A request is in your approval. And we have our job title, which I bolded, department, manager, rec, and then I'll say, please click here to review. We'll establish each one of these in just a moment. So job title, I'll go over to our dynamic content, add in our job title. I'll do the same thing for departments. Next, we will add in the manager. And of course, finally, the rec type. And this is another choice column. So this is going to be rec type value. Now, let's establish what the link is. We got the URL right here. We've established that within this compose. So now let's go ahead and add that URL inside this send an email. And specifically, we need to add it over our here. As I highlight here, I'm going to click on the link and I can edit this, but this is more manually editing it. So I'm just going to leave it as is. But if we go over to the code view, you'll see right here after our href is our HTTPS, basically our URL. I'm going to delete this out. And between our double quotes, I will go over to our dynamic contents and put in our URL from the outputs. If I go back to the regular view, well, now you see it's highlighted here, ready for the user to click on. Normally, this would be all that I would need to put in here. However, because I'm the only one here, I'm going to add in who the intended responder is. So I'll just add in a few spaces here and say this is for approver one. This is everything that we need, and this is all under the approve one waiting for response. Now, I'm just going to copy this action, go over here, right click on the plus, and paste an action. And the only change that we need to do is instead of approver one, I'm going to delete this out and go over to our dynamic contents. Let's snag in our approver two. Again, approver two, if this is your email address, this will need to go into the to section. That's the majority of this follow-up flow. So let's go ahead, save this, and then let's go test it out and see the response. And my email starts blowing up with these 5 different requisitions that are all in varying statuses that need some type of follow-up. Again, the intended person was Robert Martinez. for this one, Jennifer Walsh. But now we see this is for Robert Martinez. A request is in your approval, and he can click onto here to review, which takes him right into the app, which takes him right into everything that he needs to do. The main formats of these YouTube videos have been establishing what you need to do. And then the second part of the video is all about improving the aesthetics. So with that said, let's go improve the aesthetics of this. And I'm going to be using CoPilots so that we're going to get some generative AI. This is our intended output. If you notice, this actually looks like some type of notification from a system. It even establishes automated message. This notification was generated by the requisition approval system. Please do not reply. Again, very official looking. We even have a button here for our users. Now let's use Copilot to generate this HTML for us to use inside of your follow-up notifications. Now, the first thing I'm doing is establishing context between what we have in Power Automate and giving that context into Copilot. So I'm saying create a modern enterprise style HTML email notification for Power Automate using the dynamic content below. So again, I've more or less just copied and pasted here. So this message is for, and we have our approver one, a request is in your approval, job, title, department, manager, rec type. And then I also had to finesse this in here. So our output of the URL. Now, if you didn't know, if you click on Shift Enter, it allows you to go to the next line. But as I keep writing this prompt, I'm going to say design requirements, and it's create a professional Outlook compatible HTML email using table-based layout, not a web page layout. There's a vast difference between the two. I'm not going to get into the nuances, but well, AI can kind of decipher between the two. Now, the email should have a light gray outer background, one center email card about 700 pixels wide, rounded corners, and subtle borders. Segio UI format. This is more Microsoft so that it's more compatible between Microsoft to Microsoft. And then finally, compact but readable spacing. At the very top of the card, include a muted gray automated message banner that says automated message. This notification was generated by the notification system. Please do not reply. Again, one of those pet peeves of mine, when someone replies to an automated message, I'm doing everything I can so that does not happen. All right, let's keep this going. Obviously, I'm giving this as much context as I can. So below that, create a warning style alert header section with a soft amber background. And that's essentially what this is here. Our approval required, and then some type of text here, a new requisition request requires your review and approval. That's essentially what I'm making here. And then I'm also talking about the drop shadow on the button. And really, that's one of the key elements of making it look like a button is really asking the AI to create that drop shadow. Again, I'm giving it as much context as I can. So the next piece here is inside the request details panel, display the job title, department manager, rec type. Each label should be bold and each value should appear next to the label. The last element that I'm going to add into Copilot is this is important. Make the request detail panel wider and more balanced, not a small, narrow box. Keep the layout professional, clean, and similar to an internal enterprise workflow notification, right? We're trying to match mirror what is already out there. Use inline CSS so it works in Power Automate and Outlook. Do not use JavaScript. Do not use external CSS. Do not use modern web-only layout features like Flexbox or Grid, and then return only the HTML code. I know that's a lot to go off of, but that's everything that I put into this prompt here. I've gotten different results. A lot of the time has been really good results as far as the HTML. So I'm really excited what this is going to establish for us. The other one I set up earlier just as a test, as a dummy one for myself. But this one, let's see what AI generates. Okay, everything looks to be done with this. I'm going to go over here and copy the code. Now let's go back inside of our Power Automate. Let's go back into our edits, expand some of these out again, and then let's go into our send an email. Now, this time we're going back to code view. I'm just Going to delete out all of this and paste in what Copilot had given us. As I scroll up here, you'll see we have our apply to each rec type value, our apply to each manager. All of these all were from that prompt. Now let's expand out our approver to notification, the send an email. I will do the same thing and delete all of this out and we will paste in the new code. However, our approver to needs to be established in here. And that's after hello. I'm going to change this to approver to, update, save, and let's go test this out.
Yes! Yes! Come to Papa!
And great, now you see all of the emails coming in. Now let's take a look at these. All right, again, first time I'm opening this up, we have this great notification here. It does look like it came out of some type of automated notification system, not by me manually sending this out. And here's the button right in the middle, review request, which again takes us right into our Power Apps with all of the context inside of it. Again, go over to the approval video if you want to see how to create that. But each one of these were sent to the correct person, ready for their queue for approval with a button and with a modern notification. I mean, this is generative AI. I'm not particularly happy that we have this automated message. So, why is that here at the bottom of the message? Obviously, work with Copilot, work with ChatGPT, whatever system that you're using, whichever AI that you're using. But definitely, if I give it more prompts, it may tweak it, it could change it. This was just the first go around. But as soon as I found a notification format that I loved, I actually took all of my notifications that I have in all of my different approval systems, all of the different trackers that I have, and I made sure that it was with that updated format. As soon as, again, I fell in love with the format, all of my notifications had that same format. But now we've established in this video of how to create a follow-up notification and really improve that notification into what it can do and how it can communicate to the end user a lot more smoothly. Thank you for sticking all the way to the end of the video. With this done, dusted, I will see you in the next video.